away from who you were.
Better late than never. Positively powerful. Oh, and I'm over here. See, that's what happens when I'm late. I'm all discombobulated. Let me move my picture over there. Hey, Stacey. Happy
Hello.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Snowy morning.
And this is a
Windy.
perfect day. This is a perfect day, weather-wise, to discuss our topic of the day, gratitude.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm sure folks are struggling with any forms of gratitude when they wake up to a day like this in mid-April, especially after having a day like we had the other day, which was nice and warm and sunny, and then Rochester goes, we're going to do this to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, gratitude. The attitude of gratitude is one of my favorite little rhyming phrases because it's for me it seems to be the biggest challenge of something that really should be so easy, but it just isn't. And I don't know why, and maybe you can help me with that. Like, why is it so hard? I guess as humans we just get wrapped up in our own BS and we
Yeah.
forget to simplify things and think about how good we might actually have it.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the beginning and let's talk about, tell me about what being in a state of gratitude, being thankful for the things that you do have, how does that help you kind of overall in your life, in your world? I know
Yeah.
it's kind of a broad question, but
Right. Yeah. So when you practice gratitude, you're training your brain to look at what you have instead of what you don't have, because our brains are naturally wired to go more towards what we don't have versus what we have. And so when we make that shift of what we have, we feel safe, feel provided for, and we feel good, right? And then that just shifts our energy completely when we move through the world, when we embody a state of gratitude.
hmm I never thought about that, but it's true. You are feeling safe. I am feeling safe. I'm feeling like, hey, everything's cool.
Yeah.
And that idea that as human beings, we are always if you think about going back to like the animal part of us, where what are we really after? We're after food.
You're
We're
right.
after staying warm, staying alive, like if you get down to the real basics of stuff. So yeah, we are kind of wired to be thinking about what don't we have and what do we need to make sure that we have our homeostasis or our life together.
Yeah. Yeah, that survival mindset. You probably
Yeah,
hear that
survival. Our
phrase.
crocodilian
And
brain.
right, yeah. Um, and that's actually why challenging yourself outside of your comfort zone and being without, that's why sacrifices is like a common practice in a lot of religions and practices, is because learning to go without, learning to sacrifice is a way you can be a reminder of what you do have. So like if I were to pack my things and go backpacking for 3 days out in the wilderness, and I no longer have access to a functioning bathroom. I no longer have access to my refrigerator. I no longer have access to my home, my shelter. Those things can be really powerful reset tools to recognize what you do have. It might be a little tangent, but I felt like it was important to
No, yeah,
note.
that idea of when distance makes the heart grow fonder or something like that. Like if you exist without your creature comforts, then you really learn to appreciate what you had that you often take for granted. You
Yeah,
take for granted that I go home and I complain, oh, the house is a mess and the kids left a messy kitchen. And it's like, well, dude, you have a house.
that was right.
You have a
Yeah.
house that has a roof and that has heat. And it's like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, maybe I should shut up.
Yeah.
But it is that simple. It really is. And yesterday when I had my session with you, I got to thinking about that I fall into those time periods where I'm complaining or this
Mhm.
isn't right or that isn't right, and boy, I really wanted this to happen and it didn't happen, and trying to break that mindset and that habit of falling into that mindset so that I can stay in that attitude of gratitude, to be grateful for the things I have. Because and I know a lot of people, especially lately, I've just been seeing a lot of these online where people are kind of talking smack about that whole the whole idea of the law of attraction.
Mm.
And I know some people don't believe in it, some people swear by it, manifesting what you want and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. So if you believe in that, you um envision the things that you want with a positive mental attitude and with gratitude, and those things will imagine yourself having them and
Mhm.
living as though you had them, and then one day the universe will say, here you go. um and it's kind of funny because it's very easy to not believe in that
Mhm.
until you actually witness it. If you actually try it and then you witness it and you go, "Oh crap, this
Yeah.
really does work." And then you look at the people that constantly live by that philosophy, and they're just like happy.
Right. Yeah. It
So
starts to
explain
make
that.
sense. Right. Totally. So often those things, quote, don't work when we're still in attachment and believe that the thing outside of us is going to give us the happiness that we're looking for. So if you're manifesting for some sort of outcome or end to change your feeling state, you're not actually in a state of gratitude, right? You're in the, well, when I get this, I'll be happy, which is not the energy that brings things to you effortlessly. And that's actually a really, really hard thing to do, to detach from that outcome and to detach that need or desperation. And that's kind of where the work comes in for people.
Hmm. Do you have any suggestions for people on how they can bring themselves back into an attitude of gratitude? Like just things throughout the day that they can kind of reset and say, "Hey, this is what you should do."
Yeah. So part of it is looking at your foundational belief system. Um, if you don't have a foundational belief system, that you are provided for, that you are safe, that you'll get everything you need in just the right time, then it's going to be really hard to do that, right? Because then you're going to still be operating on some sort of fear-based consciousness. So your belief system is really important. Um, and then it's also you can do things to feel good, to put yourself in a good feeling state. And this isn't to quote gaslight yourself into something that's not true, but it's actually fairly easy if you let yourself go into a good feeling state. Um, and I've said this many times. I really like when I feel stuck, putting music on, dancing around the house, moving. It just kind of like moves that stuck energy through my body. Working out, really any body movement I recommend to get unstuck. Um, but you can even just use simple things, simple pleasures that you really like your cup of coffee. Like, do you like coffee? Do you really enjoy coffee? Like, spend some time with your cup of coffee and be like, oh, it's nice and warm. I feel so comforted. Where do I feel that comfort in my body? I'm gonna like let myself sink into this feeling, and now I'm generating um, good feelings. Want is fine. It gives a goal to achieve. However, if you're not happy without it, will you be happy with it? Right. Yeah. So I like to use the word desire. Um, and maybe this could be a personal shift, but and Scott, you can chime in on that. When I say like I desire something, it just has like this different energy. If I desire whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but
I
sometimes
get
I
what you
can.
mean. Like if you say, I want that or I desire that, I
Hmm.
know they essentially mean the same thing, but there's a, I don't know, there's like a, that's really interesting. I don't know how to explain it. It's like an artsier way to say it. Or
Right.
maybe it's a more spiritual way to
Maybe,
say like
yeah.
I desire that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because one, it's like I see it as I need, I want, I desire, right? And so so there's like a shift when I say because then it's not like it's kind of like, ooh, this fun, exciting thing. Like, ooh, what if I got what I desire, right? How would I feel then? And right, so then you automatically start embodying that
Yeah,
feeling state
yeah,
of
it's almost like
having.
yeah, it's almost like, your frame of mind around something that you desire. So if you want, a new car, you can sit there and go and be upset that you don't have a new car and you're like, oh, I wish I
Hmm.
had a new car. Gosh, I really need a new car. Or you can just daydream about you driving in that new car and how cool it would be to be in that new
Hmm.
car and what you would do and where you
Yeah,
would go and what it would be like to drive it. And essentially you're
right.
doing the same kind of thing. You're imagining yourself with this new car, but the energy behind it is different. It's positive as
Yeah.
opposed to negative.
Right, it's elevated and it's not solving a problem for you anymore. Like I was saying, like if you're trying to manifest from trying to solve a problem, then you're not in that right energy. So yeah, if you're like, "Ooh, I want this really cool sports car or whatever," and then you imagine yourself driving it and then, "Oh, where would I go? What would I do?" Well, you can then start doing those things. Well, what would I do? What coffee shop would you go to? What restaurant would you go to, right? Can you go with your current car right now with that feeling state of I'm so lucky I get to go to this place and buy this coffee because that lights me up and makes me feel good? And those are like the actual action steps you can do. Whereas if you're like, well, I can't go do that thing because I don't have that car and I don't feel good because I don't have that car. So I'm not going to do the thing. I'm going to sit on my couch and wait for some external thing to save me. Right now, we're not taking responsibility for our lives and we're waiting to be saved.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that they live their lives waiting to be saved.
Interesting. And I know
Yeah.
that there is some science, there is some research behind just being in a state of gratitude.
Hmm.
Um,
Totally.
I have seen it online, which means it's
Hmm.
real, which means it's true. No, but I have seen in documentaries and videos
Yeah.
and people talking about, scientists did these studies and they were
Yep.
legit studies. And so, if you search, you can find that there is real psychological studies that
Yeah.
show that when you're in a state of gratitude, um, things are better for you all the way
Yeah.
around.
You feel
Um,
better, right? Yeah.
I don't have the data right now to show you. I can't
She's
link you to it.
Scott.
So you're going to have to believe me,
Yeah,
right? Because
do your own
you got to do your
research
own research.
and then come back to us next
Believe
week.
me. Believe me.
Oh man.
So on a daily basis,
Mm.
the what I was doing, which I have since fallen out of, and that's this is the big problem with me is that I just get wrapped up in everything, just the day to day, what I have to do and stuff. And you really, how long? All right. So how long does it take to form a habit? It's like
They say 21 days. Is that, I
21
don't know
days or
if
something.
that's what
Yeah.
that was the whole thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
at one
Do it
point in life
every
they
day
were
for
saying.
6 months and it'll be a habit. Um, but one of the best advice I heard, and I can't remember the guy who said it. He's a chiropractor, but he's also one of those
Joe
gurus.
Dispenza?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's him. That is he. He said, or he's one of the guys. They basically say, as soon as you get out of bed, as soon as your feet touch the floor, the first thing you should do is recite some sort of mantra, but not only just
Mm.
recite that, but you also have to feel that in your soul, and just think out loud, or in your mind, just be thankful for whatever it is. You be
Mhm.
like, thankful that I'm up, thankful that I'm
Yeah.
awake right now, thankful that I have this house. So just simple things that you can be thankful
Yeah.
for every day. And even I mean, you can incorporate your technology into it and set a little alarm reminder
Mhm.
that says at 11:30 every day is gratitude time, and you just sit. I know it sounds silly, a lot of people go hoo, 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 but it's sometimes for those of us who are busy and get wrapped up in all the things that we do all day, it's good to have some sort of reminder to take yourself out of whatever you're doing and be thankful for the things that you have. And I think over time, if you repeat that on a day-to-day basis, I think that you will start to see improvements in your overall
Mhm.
outlook, improvements in your energy, and therefore improvements in your life that come back to you because of that state of gratitude. That's my
Yeah.
belief anyway. And
Yeah.
the reason why I don't enjoy all of that is because I don't practice what I
You
preach.
don't
I
pray.
don't do
Yeah.
any of the stuff that I just recommended, which I should,
Right.
which I'm going to try. I'm actually going to make a
Do you want to
point.
do a gratitude challenge? I can run
I
it in the
do. Yeah,
group.
I
Do you want me to
do.
do that? Sure.
Yeah, let's do a gratitude challenge. And
Fine.
I want to and so next week when we sign on, um we can list the things that perhaps we noticed, that maybe improvements, or just little things that have shown, that gratitude has shown to produce or manifest, or
Yeah.
whatever word you want to use. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, we
would you
can
do
talk
that?
about our experience.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how would I do what? The
How
gratitude
would you,
challenge?
yeah, what would you suggest for the like, what are the metrics for the gratitude challenge?
Oh, right. Oh, I guess I could come up with some sort of questionnaire, right? Like a questionnaire of your attention. I think attention is a big thing, right? Like what are you paying attention to? Are you paying attention to your problems? Are you paying attention to what you don't have? Are you paying attention to, yeah, what's not right? Yeah, are you spending time complaining? Or what are you paying attention to? Are you in your deep work? Are you in your passion? Are you enjoying serving others and all
You
that?
know, what I'm paying attention to is,
What?
we were doing well with 7 viewers, and then I said, we talked about a gratitude challenge, and we dropped down to 3.
Oh, seriously?
People are just like, nah, I ain't doing no gratitude challenge. Click. I'm out of here, bro.
Oh, okay.
Wuss.
There is something I want to talk about. The resistance, right? Like you said, that so the resistance to being in gratitude, doing a gratitude challenge, um, is your ego, right? So if your ego is in this survival consciousness, it feels threatened by being in gratitude, right? There's like this fear of, well, if I'm in gratitude, then I'm not gonna, anxiously do all these things that I fear, and then I'll lose my house and I won't even have my house because I'm too busy being grateful for being in a house that I won't show up in work and have the money to
Wow.
pay for my house, right? Like, so your mind will do all these fun tricks to keep you from that state of oneness, because right when you're in a state of gratitude, you feel more higher connected, like connected beyond yourself, right? And you kind of start moving into this feeling of oneness with humanity, and the ego, which is separateness, is threatened by that. So that's why something that's seemingly so simple is not so simple, right?
Hmm. I've
Yeah.
liked, have you heard of Dr. Brian Weiss? He
Thanks.
has he wrote a bunch of books that were like Many Lives, Many Masters, and he talks about regressive um
Past lives?
hypnosis. Yeah, past
Yeah.
life
Past
regression
life
and stuff like that.
regression. Yeah.
Yeah. But he talks about this, and he's not the only one that talks about this, but I love this idea of this greater consciousness that we're all connected to.
Yeah.
And you can even get cheesy and talk about how the movie Avatar kind of touches on
Mm.
this too, where like everything's
Yeah.
connected in some
Yep.
way or another, on a metaphysical level, on a level that
Yep.
we're not able to see or experience, but it's there at a spiritual level, an energy level,
Hmm.
whatever it is. But there is that, and there's people who have talked about this for, I mean, even Napoleon Hill kind of talked about
Yep.
this in his own way in Think and Grow Rich, where he
Yep.
was, when he had his mastermind, his own internal mastermind, where he talks about sitting around with
Hmm.
Abraham Lincoln and
Yep.
Edison and all these people,
Yep.
and he said one day that was it Abraham Lincoln came and said something's going to happen and it's going to be hard to get through, and then like the next day the stock market crashed or something, and it was like, what the heck just happened? So in his own way, he was tapping into that
Yes.
greater consciousness that has no time, it has no
Yes.
future, it has no past, it's
Yep.
everything right now, and
The
which is,
infinite present
yeah,
moment.
which is
Yeah.
way bigger than I can comprehend. But um I like, there's a comfort in believing in that,
Hmm.
because you almost feel like, even if you're feeling lonely, you can almost convince yourself, maybe that's not a great word, but um that you're not alone, that there
Yeah.
are others with you that are there. And Brian Weiss in his books talks about, um he calls them the masters. And when he was regressing some of these people, he had gotten past their past lives, and they
Hmm.
were speaking to masters who are these consciousness, these beings that
Mm.
are kind of like a collective of all of the consciousness that people were talking about, and talking through. It was really interesting, and kind of, from a regular person perspective, kind of weird, kind of like, wow,
Hmm.
that's out there, but
Yeah.
really, really interesting if you want to subscribe to that type of thought. At least for me personally, I find it comforting. It's like, hey, that's kind of cool that there is, and some people, maybe they call it God, or whatever, the universe,
Hmm.
that kind of a thing. I try to stay away from the religious part of it, because I feel like religion kind of messed up that whole idea. I mean, they got some of it right, and then they got some
Hmm.
of it really wrong. But
Yep.
that idea of we're not alone in this life, our souls are not alone. Our souls are all connected.
Hmm.
They're all part of each other in some way. Um, I've gone on a huge tangent, but it's still, but I still believe that gratitude, that state of gratitude, helps you to connect to that greater consciousness. At least for
Yes.
me, it
Yep.
helps you
Totally.
tap in. That's like a key. That's like a pathway to tap into
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's like this hack, right, to
Yeah, yeah,
get
exactly.
into that state of being. And yeah, and this is again why some of those foundational beliefs can be really helpful, is if you know your true essence, or however you want to call it, your Eckhart Tolle calls it your deep I, right? Like depending on what spiritual teacher you follow, they all have their
Yeah,
different things, but they're all talking about the same thing,
yeah,
right? So if you know that my true self is oneness, is this greater consciousness, where everything is perfect. And so by momentarily moving out of like that ego state of separateness into that state of oneness, you you can, yeah, you feel that, and then that's how you have the experience, right? Like you feel that, but you have to have some sort of at least curiosity and willingness to go there, in order to have the experience. And then but and so once you can allow that experience, then it's a lot easier to practice and keep doing it, and you'll notice, quote, results because you're allowing for it. But it took me a long time, like in full disclosure, to let myself um not feel lonely or like you brought that up or something, right?
Yeah.
You used the word loneliness, and I felt that I had this real blocking belief that if I needed to do this like weird spiritual thing to not feel lonely, that meant like, wow, Stace, like you've really failed in life if like this is the only but I was still operating on that love comes from other people or
Right.
accomplishments. And I wasn't even consciously aware that I was operating on that belief script. And so that's the thing too with this work is people don't even realize they would benefit from it because they don't realize the current beliefs that they're running in their head right now and how that is limiting them. They
Right.
just have accepted that as true and this is life when really it could be different for them, you know?
And I and
So,
I
yeah.
just I just tapped into the greater consciousness of AI to find out like some gratitude practices. I mean, it's
Oh,
it's
fun.
it's all right there at your
Mm-hmm.
fingertips to find. Journaling, we've talked about journaling in the
Mm-hmm.
past, where just every day writing down things you're grateful for, daily, weekly, once a week, whatever. Um, Expressing appreciation to people that you are in contact with on a daily basis or a weekly basis, just out of the blue, telling someone how much you
Yeah.
appreciate what
I
they've done
appreciate,
for
yeah.
you. And a lot of times that like will blow someone's mind because we get so used to those day-to-day interactions where it's like, hey, thanks, whatever, and then just to take a second and go, I really appreciate everything you've been doing, like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know. And usually they go, wow, thanks, man.
Yeah, well, and
you
we
know
talked about that yesterday too, right? Like,
yeah,
and those are, yeah, like these little practices, or when I sent out those Valentine's Day cards to all you guys, that was like me doing a
yeah,
little appreciate. Remember
yeah,
that? Yeah. Yeah.
that was fun.
Right?
If you're crafty, you can do a gratitude jar. You create a jar where you write down and put
Mm,
notes of appreciation for things that you're thankful for, and then at the end of the month you can read them or whatever.
mm.
Obviously, we've talked about meditation or going out on walks. I
Who
gotta add
would,
this to the broadcast.
who is? Oh, what did Todd say?
You totally dick Todd over. I'm sorry. No.
Wait, what did he say? I
Oh,
need to
you
move
can't see
my,
it?
I never got of it. Sorry. I have my because it's so gloomy and anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I see it. Sorry, Todd, do you want a Valentine's Day card?
Todd, every
He's
every
he's not a
day.
client. I only send it to my clients.
Right. So pony up the
So you
cash,
pay
bro.
up, all right? And you'll get a
Pony
Valentine's
up the
Day.
cash and you'll get your damn card. Nope. You can go on I'm going to just pop that in there. You can go on we've talked about going on. You can go on a gratitude walk with Todd or a gratitude run,
We do
right?
go on, well, we go
You
on walks,
you
but
guys go on
yeah, they're not
walks.
very, yeah.
Just like get a post-it note and write happy Valentine's Day and stick it on his face.
I would
Um
actually, yeah, I'd probably do those like demotivational ones for Todd, right? Like, um, I would just insult him. And that's how that's how I show my love to Todd.
So according to the AI bot God, benefits of gratitude, practicing gratitude, increased happiness, improved mental health, enhanced physical health, stronger relationships, increased resilience, which is a
Mm.
word that we use a lot, and boosted creativity. So
Yes.
thanks, Todd. Make sure you report it to Zuck. He needs to know. Um, yeah. So anyway, that's I'm always grateful when Todd chimes in because we know that there's going to be at least 3 or 4 minutes more of interesting banter that we can talk about. But on that note, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we get to check in just about every
Mhm.
week
Yeah.
and talk about stuff. It's kind of like taking over for my positive blatherings, because
Yes, I noticed that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just blathering. I'm always just blathering. You like come prepared. You've got your notes. You've got the information, and I just go, that sounds cool. Let's talk about this. But it's fun, and I have the tech so that I can blather with you. So yeah, so that's.
I'm grateful for your tech and doing that aspect of this little fun. Yeah, that I don't have to deal with any of that.
Right.
Because I
You
don't
just
want
show
to.
up and talk. And then we
Yeah.
have we've got this.
Take a deep
Oh
breath
yeah.
and remember
A little
who you are.
a little copyright free tune.
Yeah,
Velvet
they're gonna
Haze.
mess with you, baby, you're
I wonder if they're
a
touring anytime soon. So that's it for this week's
Stepping in the
positively
spotlight, you know
powerful
that it feels like
gratitude
time to put
challenge.
that
Let's
right
check in next
hand
week
on
and
me.
talk about how
Nothing
daily
left to lose,
gratitude
so
practices
let's
have
start.
helped us in some way over the next week. We'll just like
Everybody wanna be
take notes and write things down, and no matter how small it is, you know, it could be something simple like someone acknowledged me and said thank you to me. You know, that's gratitude. That's someone else practicing gratitude. Anyway, I'll shut up and we'll get the hell out of here. Later. See you next week.
Take a big step away from who